So sad,
It's
right? I mean, it's
crazy.
like,
Yeah.
it's so, and it's crazy too. Is like, now, obviously, I'm a little biased, right? Obviously, I'm a huge advocate of hypnotherapy just because of what the hell it's done for me in my life.
Yep.
And my question is this, right? Is there another way to heal these fucking people? Because like from what, because if there was, wouldn't everybody not be fucked up? Like, like,
Oh, for one thing, most people don't even recognize or understand how messed up they are, or that there's even a problem.
dude,
Right.
so many people are in denial that something's wrong with them. So many fucking people.
Absolutely, absolutely. And part of it is just they don't see it because nobody has been able to reflect it back to them, or nobody's been able to show them a better life, right? Or been able to demonstrate this, like, hey, yeah, you actually can live this life over here as opposed to the life that you're living over here, right? So I think that number one, it's an awareness issue. Like, again, for guys like you and me, we thought things were normal for the longest time. Like, that's just how things are. It's like, no, that is not normal. It's not until you start dealing with people who are actually healthy and have done work on themselves and have started fixing these kinds of things that you even recognize that there might be a problem in the first place. Right. So number one, there's a huge awareness issue. And that's why I love, the fact that you're doing interviews like this, doing your inner game series, the one you did last year, the one you're doing now, and raising that awareness and making people, more conscious of the fact that, hey, things don't have to be this way. The fact that you're anxious all the time isn't normal, and it doesn't have to stay that way. And there are tools and things you can do to fix that. Now, is hypnosis the only way to fix this stuff? Not really. Is it probably the fastest and most effective way to get at some of the stuff that's going on in your unconscious mind? Absolutely.
That's what I'm going for. Because like what traditional therapy, you can fix it with like 5 years minimum or something like that. Or what are some other ways you're talking about?
Yeah, well, you've got traditional talk therapy, and there's various different kinds, right? You got dialectic-based therapy, you got cognitive-based therapy, you've got psychotherapy, you got inner child work, you've got all these different flavors of psychology, right? And those are all theories and systems and models that will help you kind of navigate what's happened in your life and start to understand it in a different way. Yeah. And that's great, right? The problem is that all those stuff operate on the level of your conscious mind, and it's very hard for that to soak down into your unconscious mind. And since your unconscious mind is running 90% of your life, that's not a good way to fix that, right? Now, that said, a lot of guys who are coming in the space have bad conscious models of the world that they've been using to navigate it. So if you look at, say, red pill versus blue pill, right? If you're running through the world with a improper understanding of how it works and improper understanding of like how to just like get through the day, what's possible, you're going to be making bad decisions on a conscious level as well as an unconscious level, right? So a lot of what you can do in with conscious therapy work and coaching and things like that is get yourself a better mental model, better conscious model to navigate the world with. So you're making better conscious decisions, right? The problem is that you still have this big part of your back of your head, your unconscious mind, that's running 90% of your life. And until you get that thing sorted out, you're still going to be struggling because you have to fight yourself all the time. Even if you've got the correct mental model, even if you now understand the red pill and you understand intersexual dynamics, you understand like how women work and so forth and so on, you're still going to have a hard time with the dating success if your unconscious mind is all messed up, right? If you believe deep down inside that you have no value, you're never going to be as successful as you need to be with women or as you want to be with women. You're never going to have the quality you want. Your relationships aren't going to be what they should. You're always going to be fighting yourself to get there. You're going to always have this anxiety and this fear. You will blow up relationships that start going well. You will do all kinds of things to mess yourself up.
It's so fucking sad, but it's so true. And that's the thing, right? So I've come to this realization recently, and kind of came to me in like November, December-ish, that I was just like, Christ, man. Because I didn't know. Obviously, I was like high. It's like wham wham. My life is so shitty. It's not bad, you know what I mean? But it was like, I noticed there was a very big inner demon lurking inside me that I didn't realize, even notice was there.
Yep.
And it was still fucking me up. Two things happened that were pretty crazy. One, after I was able to like really clear out this this subconscious trauma, this negative thing, right? I still have a lot of work to do, but I'm making massive progress. But one thing that really, really has blown my mind is like, seriously, I fucking have pretty much lost my drive in a good way to go out and fuck just strange pussy.
Yep.
Like before, I would literally, I had I was like a vampire. I needed to feed.
Yeah, there's a compulsion. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and after that happened, I was like, oh, maybe something's weird. Maybe something's off. So I went out and I fucked like, I just went through the motions, and I fucked like 5 to 7 different girls between like November and December. And it was all void and empty. It was just like, I did not derive pleasure from it. It was like eating wet cardboard. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was just like, I was just like, what am I even doing? And these girls fucking smoke shows. These girls were babes. And then I was just like, but to be honest with you, I was like, oh fuck, I'm like kind of relieved. Like I got this monkey off my back. And I do believe that a lot of guys who come to this corner of the internet, they believe that they want to fuck a lot of girls. That's going to alleviate them.
Yep.
But really, I don't think that's what's really the answer, because you and I have opened the doors of Pussy Palace to many a men.
Yep.
Remember Scott, how he would like basically
yes,
have
indeed.
he had a breakdown, started crying and shit, and like, all because like he was getting all the pussy in the world, but he still felt empty inside.
Yeah.
And
that's, and that, like, I see this all the time with these guys who are multimillionaires, have everything in the world that a guy should want, and are miserable.
Yeah.
Because fundamentally, deep down inside in their unconscious mind, they are still carrying around all that baggage of not being good enough, not being loved. And you cannot alleviate that from the outside in. You have to fix it from the inside out.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much you throw at it. It's just never, it's a bottomless pit. It's an endless void that you cannot fill in any other way than going down there, figuring out what that is, getting it fixed. Flat out. That's just the only way. But the thing is that once you do, you'll notice exactly what you did is there's no longer that need to chase a bunch of stuff, because you don't have a void to fill.
Yeah.
Right. You're not chasing that demon every single day, because you don't need that outside stuff to make you feel better for a moment, better for a day. Right. You have that internal confidence and that internal sense of self that says that I'm good enough. I don't need any of this other stuff to make me feel good. And now it's like, I'm chasing that because I want it. I'm chasing that because it's a fun thing to do. I'm chasing it because it's a challenge. Right. Or you start looking for, instead of just sex for sex's sake, just like not just on the bedpost, start looking for something that's a bit more meaningful for you, whatever that means. Right. Deeper connection, higher quality in some way, bringing more to your life, whatever that happens to be.
A Left of the Nemesis $20 super chat says, a session with Brian saved me hours every week that used to be spent hemming and hawing with clients and contractors. September 2020, I was scared to pull the trigger on BTC. Now I'm making up to 10K in crypto cash flow daily. Oh, excuse me. That's great. Yeah, that's great. That's great. I remember talking with him too. He seemed like a little scatterbrained at the time, and I was just like, you probably need to go talk to one of the boys and get your clockwork sorted upstairs.
Oh yeah. And
go ahead.
Things like this are common. Like, this is the everyday experience for guys like me and Ryan Fowler that are working with guys. This is what we see all the time.
Right.
They sit down, we get in there, we figure out what the biggest issue is that's holding them back. We get rid of it, and all of a sudden, like, it's a switch that's been flipped, right? In the webinars, I talk about scales, like weighing things on a scale, positives and negatives, right? And you can imagine, if you want to, in the back of your head, you've got a set of scales measuring positives or negatives in any moment, right? And those are the things that determine whether it's going to help you or hold you back, right? Whether your unconscious mind is going to help you, whether it's going to mess with you, right? And so a lot of times what we focus on is throwing a bunch of stuff on the positive side of the scale. We start telling it's like, you can do this, and here's all these great things that you can have in your life, and you can be successful. We're all here for you, and rah rah rah. Let's go approach 80 women, and let's just go ahead and like muscle our way through this and throw all that discipline on there and so forth and so on. But if on the other side of the scale you have things like, I don't know, I'm not good enough, or I don't deserve.
Yeah.
Right. Or if I put myself out there, I'm going to be punished and hurt. Right. Or like me, if you do this, you're going to die. Right. Or if you just don't, there's no point in any of this. There's just no point at all. Well, how much stuff do you have to throw on the other side of the scale to outweigh that? I mean, can you even throw enough positive things to outweigh, if I do this, I will die?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or it just doesn't work. So by going and taking a look at what's going on and that negative side of the scale, on the other side of the scale, and taking those big heavy weights off, all that stuff you're already doing tips you into action like really, really fast. Right.
Yeah.
There's now nothing holding you back. And all the work you're doing, all those things you're already learning, all that systems you already have in place work 10 times or 100 times better, because there's zero internal resistance and zero internal friction anymore. Your mind is just there helping you because you've taken off that massive weight. So now all that's left is the biggest positives.